Almost all cities have zoning ordinance, and the idea behind it is that you want an overview of different land uses within your community and to make sure that they're compatible with surrounding land uses so that you don't have a quarry next to a single family home, next to a church, next to a use that may not make sense. So that's the whole idea, the whole underlying idea, big picture idea of zoning.
All right, let's get started. My name is Jonathan Swain. I'm the chairperson.
And then just jump over easily.
And you came in front of this board.
The only access from the alley from the rear was a narrow gangway between the garage and the main floor.
The Zoning Board of Appeals is directly responsible for the aesthetics and how the city is viewed by its residents and its businesses. The Zoning Board makes decisions on what a building looks like, where it's placed on the property, and what it looks like within the context of the neighborhood. It really affects every part of the city. Unlike other boards and commissions, the Zoning Board really is a part of all city neighborhoods in all 50 wards, from the smallest residential project to some of the largest institutional or commercial projects. So we look at contextually at a neighborhood, what has happened on a certain block, what we believe is going to happen in terms of how the built environment is going to look, and how this particular project will play into that.
We figured, oh, this is great. This would be a great point of, entry for the local neighborhood kids and adults to join this thing and see it more from the inside rather than see this old wall where there used to be the steel mill.
The velodrome is on the former USX steel site, which is now being redeveloped into a very, very large mixed-use development in the future.
We said we want to build one, and because of the weather in Chicago, we should try to build an indoor velodrome. But because the over $40 million budget, it's hardly financeable, and we wanted to start the activity with the local youth and the Chicago cyclists in the very short term, we proposed to U.S. Steel to have an interim facility. So a temporary project that for the first few years would start to connect the local community to this new development.
They needed what's called a public place of amusement license, a PPA, and then that is within a certain distance of a single family zoning district, then they need approval by the Zoning Board of Appeals.
We were in trouble, basically, because they classified us and the zoning was done, but the thing couldn't exist there. So without the Board of Appeal and without going through that process of explaining and them listening, we would have had a much bigger problem.
This is Jack and Ginger's Dog Care. It's my doggy daycare, boarding, and grooming facility that we just opened in Lincoln Square. My partner and I were the recipients of a small business grant, so one of the conditions of the grant is based on location, so we kind of had to make it fit in this storefront. So then we were faced with the challenge of getting the zoning taken care of, and so we were basically zoned B2, B3, which didn't allow us to have the type of business we wanted here, so we had to get a special use permit.
You always look at the property itself, but then, a big part of our job as planners is to look around at our neighborhoods and see how it's going to impact the residents, the businesses, other similar types of uses.
You actually stand in front of them and you basically plead your case why your business would be beneficial for the neighborhood, and then they let you know pretty soon after that. That was actually the easiest part. I had a lot of nerves going into it, but everyone was really nice. They just asked a few questions, and we had done our homework and were really prepared, overly prepared probably. So when we got up there and sort of blurted out our whole explanation, they didn't really need quite as much information as we thought they would, so it actually ended up being a little bit smoother than we anticipated.
It's definitely a situation where people are coming before the ZBA, they want to get it right, and we want them to get it right, so that that project is the only city review and that they're able to move forward right away.